Good morning, everybody. So we're going to grab breakfast first, and then we're going to Rotterdam. Today there is the entrance of St. Nicholas. We're going to film that and see what happens over there. So check it out. So today is a quite wonderful day here in Rotterdam. The weather is nice, there's not too much wind over here, and it's a quite special day as well, because today it's the day that we in the Netherlands welcome St. Nicholas. And St. Nicholas is a very special figure here in the Netherlands because it's a children's festival and the children get gifts. You can compare it to Santa Claus here in America. So yeah, it's quite a wonderful day. And as you can see on the background over there, it's quite busy because there are a lot of children here today to welcome St. Nicholas here in the Netherlands. So let's enjoy the nice weather. Okay, so this was the entrance of St. Nicholas in Rotterdam. As you could see, the children were very happy. So let's go home to talk about it. So as you could see in the Netherlands, this was quite hyped today. There were a lot of children in Rotterdam, but there was also some protests. And this has a very interesting story. So let's talk about that. Okay, so it's very important to look at the facts in this story. If we go back into history, we can only see that the whole discussion around Black Pete right now was fairly young in history, because the whole occurrence of this whole figure Black Pete was only invented around 1850, while the whole feast of St. Nicholas was already from the Middle Ages. So Black Pete is just less than 200 years old. But nonetheless, there are a lot of new generations, a lot of generations that have passed that grew up with the whole figure and persona of Black Pete. The whole problem with it, though, is that Black Pete was invented with a whole discriminatory background as being a slave and a clumsy helper of St. Nicholas around that time. And that whole connotation gradually changed in society when we started disbanding slavery and we started to see black people and people with darker skin tones as equals from everybody else. And that is the whole problem, though, because people with darker skin tones and certain communities within society just don't like the whole figure and the whole origin of the persona of Black Pete. So I personally think that this is a classical case of miscommunication between communities in the society. And that is very unfortunate because there are a lot of people in the Netherlands that genuinely grew up with the whole persona of Black Pete without having any discriminatory ideas behind it. But yeah, the fact is though that Black Pete, the whole persona, has a very discriminatory background. And one of the things that you hear the most from people is that the darker skin tone of Black Pete is because he climbs down all the chimneys for delivering the gifts. So yeah, all the blackness of his skin is because of soot. But yeah, it is quite debatable. And in order to find a middle ground right now in society, people have found another solution. And that is to introduce white Petes as well, with soot on their skin, in order to find a middle ground for the whole persona of Black Pete. And this is a very interesting thing, because I think that this will be the new way in order to find a middle ground, in order to find a gradual change in how people perceive Black Pete in society, in order for the new generations to adapt themselves to a whole new persona and a whole new connotation of Black Pete, just like we had in society in the last 50 years. So the most important thing for me is, for the children, let them have their feast at December 5th. St. Nicholas is all for them about getting their gifts. And yeah, let's keep that conversation as well, but let's keep the children out of it. Because a conversation is pretty healthy for society, but not a fight. Let's keep the conversation. So that was it for this week. I really hope that you liked this video. If you do, please subscribe to my channel, because next week there will be another new post. And if you have any thoughts about the subject, please write them down below, because this is a perfect place to have a conversation. I hope to see you next week. See you then. Ciao!